Hey guys, it's Sarah from Book Nerds and Fangirls, and today I'll be reviewing Vampire Diaries winter premiere called Hell is Other People. I would love to start out by saying that I loved that this was a Damon-centered episode. If you've been around my channel, you would know that Damon Salvatore is one of my favorite characters on the Vampire Diaries. And Ian Somerhalder just does a perfect job while acting him. And while the other actors were good, I actually loved the fact that this was a Damon-centered episode because it showcased what Ian Somerhalder could really do, and that we don't need Nia Dobrev to make a good episode. Flee Hell is Other People was a good episode. I enjoyed it. It could have been a little bit better on the terms of the hell that Damon was in, but besides that, I actually enjoyed it, and my light just went boom for whatever reason, fluorescent. I'm sorry about the bad lighting in here. Usually I do it in another point in my room, but since my computer's hooked to the charger, this is how it's gonna be, and I apologize for that. Okay, so I would like to start out by saying that if you haven't seen the episode Hell is Other People, then I was just clicking off now because I am about to spoil the shit out of it for you guys. And I don't want you to be spoiled because it was a really good Damon-centered episode. It didn't really advance the plot like super much. It was just kind of like a nice filler episode, I believe. So if you don't want to watch it, that's fine. If you want to get spoiled for it, that's fine. But if you want to watch it because you love Damon like I do, I would click off now because we're about to get real up in here. So bye, non-spoilery people. I will see you whenever you finish the episode. Bye. Okay, so for the people who are still here, let's think about this, because there is so much going on in this episode, just so much. I don't even know if Damon is out of the stone yet. From that ending, I guess he is, but from next week, everyone's all like, oh my god, I hope he didn't kill everyone, and obviously he didn't if everyone is still alive in the next promo. Or maybe that's gonna be another twist. Maybe Damon killed everyone, so he goes kind of crazy, and they're just stuck in the stone for the rest of the 3 years, and this is just a weird version of hell, but we'll see how that goes. We'll discuss the ending as soon as we discuss the episode. Of course, it was a Damon-centered episode, and Damon is one of my favorite characters, and Ian Somerhalder is my man crush when it comes to actors. He's one of my favorites, besides Johnny Depp. Ian can't compete with Johnny Depp, but in looks, yeah, he can. But, episode starts out, and Damon is on the battlefield, and of course we see Lily again because, you know, it's Damon's hell, so why wouldn't Lily be there to confront him about things? And we see Lily, and all I'm thinking is, really, I don't want to see Lily Salvatore again, but I knew she was gonna be in this episode because, you know, one thing Damon regrets is the way he said goodbye to his mom. We all know that. We saw it. It didn't seem like he regretted it, but we know deep down that Damon's not that much of an asshole. So of course, he didn't mean anything by it. But I can't really say I blame Damon if he did, because his mother abandoned him. And whenever your own mother abandons you and loves other people who aren't even related to her by blood more than Damon and Steven, whenever it wasn't really their fault what happened to her, that's just really insane. And it's why I didn't like Lily in the first place. At least she agreed that she was a shitty ass mom. I applaud her on that one. But for other things, whenever Lily died, I didn't really cry. There was a few people who said, oh, I really liked Lily, and I'm just over here going like, I didn't like Lily. I'll miss the actress because the actress is actually pretty nice. But as far as Lily goes, she was one of my least favorite characters. Yes, I get that their father was horrible, but when we get to Damon's goodbye, which was really sad, I'll share the ideas. And might I just say that ever since Nia Dobrev left, Ian's acting is getting super better. Better, hint, hint, wink, wink. I don't know. Maybe it was for the best for his acting if she left, but who knows whether that story goes, because I don't want to discuss it at the moment, because everyone knows my thoughts when it comes to Nia Dobrev leaving the show, so let's get on. So, it starts out, actor's name, I'm sorry. So, Damon wakes up in the Confederate camp, I believe he was in. He was a Confederate soldier. He wakes up, and then we see his friend, and I'm sad because I can't remember his friend's name. I will look that up. Just give me a second because I really hate not referring to names when it comes to Vampire Diaries, because I should know. They said, I think it was Teddy. Let me see what his name was, because I would hate it if I didn't remember everything that I need to. Where is Helen's other people? No, I don't want to read about Elena Gilbert. Okay, sorry, guys. Do. Where's the cast? Henry. Okay, so Henry was Damon's friend in the Confederate camp, so we get to see a little bit of the friendship he built with while he was at war, and then we see all these imagery of war. Damon is in the sick camp, I believe, because he got sick for whatever reason. It wasn't really explained how he was sick. He just was. So Damon gets up. There is a letter from Steven in the mail and other stuff, and it says that Steven doesn't feel like himself. He feels like he's getting darker. He needs Damon to come home. So of course Damon goes to his head commander and asks for his leave, and of course the commander says no. So Damon's all like, you won't even grant me leave even if I got the rebels that you're looking for. So all through this episode is basically just Damon going to the rebels who helped the rebel Confederate soldiers escape. And it was really interesting because the reason why it was as hell was because that was the first time he ever killed people, and I know Damon felt guilty about it. He didn't really want to kill them, but it was a live or die situation, and we know that he feels guilty about it, except it's just Damon. Damon doesn't want to admit that he feels guilty about anything that he's done, so of course he's not going to acknowledge it, but it's his hell, so of course he has to acknowledge everything that's in it. So, through the flashbacks, one thing I liked about the Confederate thing is how it kept on going on repeat, and Damon, every time he would put the thing on repeat, it would be the same scene, and he would get angrier and angrier and angrier and choose different tactics about how to handle the situation, and people would die anyway. Either he would die, or the family would die, or everyone would die. And then another one of his hells was killing all his friends. It was either he woke up with Bonnie and Caroline there the first time, he woke up with Bonnie and Caroline there, Julian had Steven's bodies, body and burns Steven's body. Of course, one of Damon's biggest hells is losing his brother. Also, because we all know that Damon, no matter what, is trying to protect Steven, which I think is super sweet because that's why I love Damon. It's not just about Elena. He really does care about Steven because Steven's basically the only family he really has. And so it's nice to see Damon's feelings for Steven. And then another part, he wakes up and Steven's there, but it's like, you know what, I need to hit the reset button on this. I need to go back. So he rips out Steven's heart to go back. And it's just, why? Why? I mean, the brothers always love to hurt each other, but in the end, you know, they just love each other. And then we go back, of course, time after time. The last time, it's a final straw. One of my favorite scenes in that, though, before I get to the ending, was Damon writing on a piece of paper, Steven, don't write me, okay? Because he knew it wouldn't get to him, because it would just be repeat day over and over, and of course him tearing the letter up that one time because he was getting super frustrated. It was really a funny episode, and I did like the little subtitle hints to Elena. Elena, we got one of the whole, do you have a sweetheart, Damon? And of course Damon mixes it up and goes, yeah, I did, yada yada. And then once he actually tells Henry, yeah, but my mother put her in a sleeping beauty coma. And then his friend's just like, Damon, you're not well, you need to go back. Okay, you need to go back, you're still sick, you're delusional, let's get you back to camp. And Damon's like, no, just forget it. Forget I ever said that. But that was pretty funny. And last time, he bombs the Confederate camp, because he's like, you know what, fuck this. He bombs it. And that's just done. That was just badass. And then another part that I found incredibly sad was whenever he went inside the house, but instead of the family being there, it was his mother. His mother said, they're coming for you, they're gonna kill you, you need to get down to the cellar. And Damon's like, are you serious? So she puts him in the cellar, or he goes in the cellar, I can't remember which one it was. I'm a little flabbergasted by it. But he puts her in, he's in the cellar, and then suddenly Steven appears, and Steven is being a bitch, of course, and I can't remember what all Steven said, but one of the things that really annoyed me was another one of Damon's hells is not being good enough for what would Elena do, not making things right by Elena, not doing right by her. So of course we had to bring Elena's coffin up, and how Damon gets upset by that, it was really sad. Delana forever, I'm just saying that. Delana. Hurt. I miss my Delana. But, that was sad. And then, Steven presses Damon up to Elena's coffin, and then Lily gets shot, I think, upstairs, and her blood. Can I just say how gross yet incredibly cinematic that was, that his mother's blood was just all over his face, and Steven's all shaking Damon going, why did you come back? Why did you come back? When you were at the war, who did you want more, who we were going out for, yada yada. And Damon keeps on saying, I came back for you, which is Steven, and Steven's like, no, that's not right. Who do you want in that moment, whenever you killed everyone? Who did you want? Who? And then Damon finally admits that he wanted his mother in that moment, and a tear, just tears, but it's not the scene that made me bawl like a baby. Baby, so the scene that made me believe that Ian Somerhalder is a great actor was the scene where he wakes up in the battlefront and everyone's getting shot around him, and here's Lily. Lily is kind of like crushed underneath a wagon, I believe. It is, and this is one of the best scenes in Vampire Diaries, may I add. Damon gets up, and Lily is begging for his help, and he literally gets up and just laughs his ass off. Which is just a perfect Damon moment because we know he's going insane. He knows he doesn't want to face his mother, but I believe he knows now that he needs to face what he said to his mother to get out of his personal hell. And it was a really sad exchange. He just laughs, and then he goes, oh, I forgot what he said, but Lily's all like, I really hate that I'm gonna die. No, you think I really want to die knowing my own son hates me? Damon laughs and goes, yes, I do hate you. I hate you for... There's 3 reasonings why he hated her. He hated her for being weak and leaving him and his brother to his father. He hated that she never came back, even when she could have. He hated how she chose him over her own family. He hated her for taking the love of his life away from him. He just kept on saying, I hate you because of this, and this. And then he turns around and says really depressing stuff, and says, 3 times I lost you. 3 times. I never really got to tell you how I felt. And then he names 3 times. 1, her dying from consumption. 2, her choosing to stab herself, and he lost her to her other family, which was really sad. And 3, I'm losing you to this, because she was dying right in front of him, and he said there was no time to tell her how he really felt, and that just made me bawl like a baby, especially when he says, I never got to tell you how I really felt. She grabs his hand and says, you can tell me now, my sweet boy, and there's still time. And oh my god, just the whole turning from I hate you to I'm sorry, I really miss you. All I wanted was for you to love me. I wanted you to be proud of me, and that just made me cry, because it's one of those rare Damon moments where we see him cry. All he really ever does is whenever Damon cries, we all cry, because Damon doesn't really cry. He cries for Elena, of course, but him crying for someone other than Elena was kind of refreshing, in my opinion. And oh my god, the tears that just fell down my face whenever he said all he wanted was for her to love him like he loved her. That just killed me. It's just, such a powerful scene. And then, of course, Damon gets dragged from the stone, because earlier we saw the whole exchange with Bonnie, Steven, Matt, Caroline. We saw all the exchange for that. So Damon gets pulled out of the stone. Of course, Damon is messed up in the head, because he just had to say goodbye to his mother. His mother just died for the 3rd or 4th time for him. for him. He gets pulled out of the stone on the most dramatic moment, and of course he jumps off the table and says, "No, you have to send me back. I have to go back. I have to see her one more time. I have to tell her everything. Just let me restart it. Of course, I have to kill you all. I have to kill you all to go back." And one of the most heartbreaking scenes was Steven trying to comfort Damon when he got out of the stone. Then he's all like, "Hey, I know it hurts. I know it feels like hell. You gotta come back to us, Damon. Please come back to me." And then he just like breaks Steven's arm and snaps his neck. And people are like, "Oh no, Steven's dead." And I'm just going here like, "No, guys, Steven's not dead. He just briefly killed him for an amount of time. I'm a little concerned about what happened to Matt, though. I know Matt was trying to come after him, which is a stupid fucking move. I'm sorry, I have to say it. It was just a really stupid move on Matt's part because he's human, so of course he's not gonna, survive that. So I guess Damon just throws him over to somewhere. I didn't really see that part because it happened so fast. And then, Damon just stakes Caroline right in the heart. I don't know if, I'm guessing he missed her heart or something because there's no way they could all be dead. Because we saw that a lot of them in the promos for next week. Matt's not dead. Neither is Caroline nor Steven. Of course, Bonnie can die because then they would have to get Nina Dobrev back in the show. And who wants that? So and then he goes to Bonnie, which is another heartbreaking scene because of course he doesn't want to kill Bonnie, but of course he wants to see his mother again, so he doesn't know this isn't an illusion, it's real life. So he literally grabs, I don't know, a hot poker or something that you poke the fire with, and then slams Bonnie's head into the wall and chokes her out. And then Damon, my poor Damon, just looks around and goes, "Why isn't everything restarting? Why are they still all dead? Why isn't this can be happening?" And then we just fade out, and that's the end of the show, and I'm all like, my poor baby, my poor baby. So, of course, I applaud Ian Somerhalder for his great acting skills in this episode. A lot of tearful moments. We're actually probably from the promo, it looks like we're gonna see some of what happened to Steven in the stone, as well as we're gonna try to help Damon because of course Damon's a little bit insane. And according to IMBD and Wikia, Vampire Diaries Wikia, we are seeing the new character Reina, who suspiciously looks like Elena. And there was a fan theory that in a way it makes sense, but at the same time it doesn't really make sense. So, because I heard, rumor has it that she is a vampire hunter and she's after Julian because Julian did something with her family. Hurt her family in a way that's not spoilery, but she's coming after Julian, I think it was, that they said. So Reina's gonna come into the picture next week, and I'm excited for that. But this fan theory was that she is Nadia's unnamed child that it has on the Wikia page, that Nadia had a kid, because of course the descendants, everyone had a kid, like Catherine had to have a kid, Nadia had to have a kid, Nadia's kid had to have a kid, and we don't know Nadia's kid, and Reina, according to this thing, is supposed to be about 500 years old, so it would be around the time range of Catherine and Nadia. So, if it was Nadia's unborn child, that would be interesting. It would explain why the new character looks like Elena, but Julie Plex says in interviews that she didn't really think of that whenever she was casting Reina, so I don't think that's necessarily the case, but it would be an interesting way to go. So, what did you guys think of Hell is Other People? Did you like it? Did you want more other people besides Damon? Because I know not everyone loves Damon as much as I do, but I know he has a bunch of Damon troopers for him, and that's why I love this episode. And I can't wait until I see the episode Things We Lost in the Fire, because of course new characters are always exciting. And I think Tyler returns in the next episode. I believe it was either next episode or the one after that. That should be interesting. I thought Michael was leaving the show for good, but I guess you could have guest spots. You see, Nina, you could still guest star on your own show once in a while, but no more shade, no more shade. So, of course, that was it, guys, and I will see you next week for another recap of the Vampire Diaries.